Mr. Scott, you call the roll. Thanks for everybody for your patience.
Thank you. Mrs. Albright.
Here.
Mrs. Bell.
Here.
Mrs. Godfrey.
Here.
Mr. Jarrett.
Here.
Mrs. Leone.
Here.
Mrs. Olson.
Here.
Mr. Scott here. Mr. Strobel.
Here.
Mrs. Thompson.
Here.
All present.
Okay, so just need to turn my own thing on. So before we go through the procedures for public participation, I'm going to add in an announcement. So it was discussed in the last meeting, our committee for for facilities and transportation, it was brought to my attention that in addition to the proposed contract being put up a little late, which I own that. It was also put up without numbers attached, and that is my fault because I'm supposed to approve the agenda after it's created, and so I wanted to tell the board that that was my fault. What I'd like to do is to make an edit to today's agenda to pull from discussion the number 4 and number 5 because they're both related to transportation under 2A, 4, and 5. We can discuss what I'd like to do is the result of, just to let you guys know, like who weren't here for the Transportation and Facilities Committee, the result of that meeting was that the vote of the committee, which is 4 of the board members, was to forward Chris's proposal to the full meeting for a vote. That still stands. That is still their recommendation. But that because I feel that this is such a significant, it's a significant part of our budget. It's a significant part of what we do here, getting the kids to school, getting them home. That I feel that it is a little, I would feel better if we would be as transparent as possible. It's not, that did not go unheard in the meeting that we just had, that, you feel that was not very transparent of us. Doesn't mean we haven't done it in the past with other contracts sometimes, when we have a committee meeting right before. That has happened before, but I am clear that the public feels, and I feel, that we could use a little bit more transparency on this one. So I need to have, if anybody has any questions to ask, if we make this change, if we do this now, what we would do is we would be announcing that we would have another special voting meeting, and that would have a full copy of the contract with the numbers attached available before the vote would occur to the public. So does anybody on the board have questions on that?
What day's the vote?
It will be Thursday of this week. 72 hours. So it'll have to be, whenever we vote to pull this from the agenda, it would have to be after that on Thursday. So yeah, it might have to be a little later.
Okay.
We'll have to double check.
So what, you're going to post it on Thursday?
No, we would post it. We would post it probably tomorrow. We'd probably post it tomorrow morning. Post the date and time as soon as we found out from our solicitor when the time had to be. But it would be Thursday. And the reason for that is because normally we don't have a meeting the following week. There are several members of the board that would not be able to be here, and they know it ahead of time. That's why we'd want to do it then. We want to give either company who gets this contract ample time to do what they need to do for next year. We're coming up on, we don't want to be the week before Memorial Day before we're making that
So
decision.
just so I'm clear, then are we voting on it on Thursday?
We would be voting on the contract up or down on Thursday instead of right now. So I want to. I have a motion. Do I have somebody to make the motion to remove?
I'll make it.
Do I have a second?
I'll make it.
We need a vote, unless anybody else has more questions.
All right, so I need to know. We're doing this.
We're
under-
we're
are we
pulling.
doing a special voting meeting? Am I putting this under a special voting meeting?
It's
This motion?
Yep. Put it under.
Number one.
Put it under one. C
So,
and
I'm
edit.
getting
It's an agenda edit
agenda edit, okay, and that's two,
to remove.
four.
To remove 2.A.4 and .5 from this agenda.
Okay, 2A, and Ms. Albright, I did that. Okay, you ready for a vote?
Oh, yep. But he would like to speak before we vote.
Just to clarify for the board, it's part of the RFP process. It's not required to add or include numbers in the contract that's being voted on. But we did send out or make available some copies this evening, but that is not required as part of the RFP process.
Right. Ready to vote?
Yeah, okay. Mrs. Albright,
Yes.
Mrs. Bell,
Yes.
Mrs. Godfrey,
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett,
Yes.
Mrs. Leone,
Yes.
Mr. Scott, yes, Mr. Strobel,
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson,
Yes.
and Mrs. Olson.
Yes.
9 yeses.
Okay. So procedures for going on to procedures for public participation. Now this is the special voting meeting we're in. So it's a little different than the committee of the whole, which we'll get to. Prepared statements to be read to the board should have a copy presented, if you have one, to the board president prior to their being addressed. Comments on agenda items will be made by rising and approaching the microphone, stating your name and address, and signing in on the sheet provided. When you'll be granted up to 3 minutes to address the board. Your 3-minute time limit will start when you begin to speak. And when your 3 minutes are over, you will be asked to be seated. Any item that is not on the agenda, as well as agenda items acted upon, comments will be made at the designated section at the end of the agenda. I will ask that, because we have 2 meetings today, we're just going to address during this comment period the 3 things that are left on this consent. 4 things that are left on this consent agenda. If you have any other things to discuss, including the busing issues, I would ask that we make those at the end of the committee of the whole. So consent items, 2.A, 1 through 3. I need a motion for those. Oh, no, I forgot. Does anybody have any comments? Okay, seeing none. 2.A, 1 through 3. Do I have a motion for
I'll make a
those?
motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, so the general fund, the final general fund budget is in there. My understanding, and Ms. Haynes will correct me if I'm wrong, for number 1.
It's the proposed final budget.
Right, proposed final budget. It still has time to make, we still have time to make changes as we get more accurate numbers. And the 33.841, that is not what's current? Or
That is to be projected, that is the index.
So that is not what is currently, that is not everyone's current tax that they're paying on their home. So this is the number that we finally approve at the end, in the middle of June, can be no higher than this. Anybody have any questions about the 3? And can I get a vote then?
Mrs. Albright,
Yes.
Mrs. Bell,
Yes.
Mrs. Godfrey,
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett,
Yes.
Mrs. Leoni,
Yes.
Mr. Scott, yes, Mr. Sturble,
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson,
Yes.
and Mrs. Olson.
Yes.
9 yeses.
Okay, moving on to personnel consent. 3.A.1.1.1. Can I get a motion for, can I get a second?
Second.
Any comments, questions, concerns from the board? Can I get a vote?
Okay, so just 1 second. Okay, all right, I got it. 3A1, 1.
3 ones.
3 ones?
Yeah, 111.
Oh, 1, okay, all right, great. All right, did you have a motion?
Did that.
Yep. We're good.
I'm glad I'm here. All right, who was the second?
Mr. Jarrett.
Excuse me. Okay, Mrs. Albright,
Yes.
Mrs. Bell,
Yes.
Mrs. Godfrey,
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett,
Yes.
Mrs. Leoni,
Yes.
Mr. Scott, yes. Mr. Sturble,
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson,
Yes.
Mrs. Olson.
Yes.
I apologize.
Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn? Oh, as I asked, please, we hold the comments on other stuff until the next meeting. And so we're okay with that? Everybody mostly is okay with that? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Ms. Albright, Mr. Jarrett. And we are adjourned.